The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, a certified financial planner practitioner. And here today with me is Alex Monk, also from Akers Financial Group, and also a certified financial planner practitioner. And what we're going to be doing today is trying to help you understand the following. That is protecting your retirement money. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
I'm good, Brian. It's good to be here with you today. It's a good topic.
It's awesome. I'm glad you're here today because we need you and all that knowledge you carry with you. What's awesome is the history that you've had at Akers Financial Group. Over 9 years you've been with us. You have a degree in accounting. You're a certified financial planner. You lead our trading. You are one of the main factors on our investment committee that we design our portfolios. So we enjoy having you on our show when we can get you fitted into our show, right, Alex? How are you doing today? Are you ready to go?
Oh, man, this is one of my favorite topics. You know, this is a big thing that people come and they see us, Brian. They say, hey, I don't want to run out of money. And I look them square in the eye and I say, I don't want you to run out of money either. So let's figure out how to get that done.
Exactly right. This show is called Protect Your Retirement Money. We plan out our shows each and every Saturday. We have 4 quarters, each one a different topic relating to protecting your money. You want to hear each and every quarter. We help our clients protect their money, and in some cases, an annuity is a great way for that to happen. In some cases, it's not. We're going to talk about annuities done the right way in today's show. All right, Alex, when we think about annuities, what are some thoughts that you have as we start off the show?
Well, you know, Brian, I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of the different types of annuities because it's such a broad word. I mean, there's so many different things that can come to mind when you hear the word annuity. And it could be well, I have an annuity from my job or a pension. That's one, right? And you don't see many of those anymore. Those are kind of going by the wayside. The other types of annuities are fixed, and then there's also fixed indexed. And then there's the completely opposite side of that, where you have variable. And then there's the, I don't know, my least favorite, unless it really, really fits the scenario, it's the immediate annuity. And they all have different good things, different bad things. It's just about making sure we pick the right tool for the right situation.
Right. So annuities do come in 4 different versions, and sometimes we sort of need to start with just the true basics. And one of the things that I want to try to cover is why annuities. Like, why would someone consider annuities? And what it causes me is to think back to 9/11. When 9/11 occurred, the stock market shut down. It truly shut down the rest of that week, and then did not open up till the next Monday. When it opened up that Monday, stocks and bonds were both down over 25%. On that day, and there was just a lot going on. Now, I've been, taught in financial planning and in finance class at Virginia Tech and all these places where you learn about investing, that the portfolio is designed as stocks, bonds, and cash. And the problem is that at the worst times, that doesn't work. And the thing that happened to me right after 9/11 was, how do my retirees feel comfortable throughout their retirement years that they're protected from whatever might happen? And there are a lot of things that can happen to our money. A lot of these things we can't control. And so after 9/11, I started doing some research into what is truly protected that's out there. And it's not bonds. It's not bonds at all. I mean, there are some government bonds, and if you hold them to maturity, you get your money back, and that works out very well. But the whole holding period, you have the volatility of the market going up and down. So what I ended up doing by within 5-6 months was really becoming an expert on fixed index annuities and understanding the guarantees of these annuities. And that really began the process of building portfolios with some portion of our money that is protected for principal and in some cases protected for income that'll last a lifetime. So we try to design these factors into a retirement plan. So that was sort of how I got into it, Alex.
And Brian, hearing that story when I started on with you early on, it really made me kind of question everything that I'd learned. And that combined with the interest rate environment that we've seemed to have been in for almost a decade now, it's hard to get income off of things that just pay you interest if the interest rate is only 2 or 3. And imagine if you're paying somebody a fee on top of that. That doesn't sound like a good scenario for my clients.
Exactly. When you think about it, some financial advisors do active management of a bond portfolio. So if a bond portfolio has a yield in the low 1 to 2 and the fees in that 1 to 1.5 or higher range, you end up all interest is going to the fee and nothing to the client. And in an interest rate environment where interest rates have been going down, that's been good for bonds. Your values go up. But as soon as rates start to move up, these bond funds especially will see a downturn. You'll start to lose some principal, and that's where an advisory type account in bonds could actually lead to some negative returns in an up market with interest rates. So as we designed portfolios and we looked at ways to protect and way to lower, this leads to some of our overall thinking. Now, you probably hear us bash target date funds, things like that. And the fundamental reason is that the concept is that as you get close to retirement, you should take less risk. Yes, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. But their answer is less risk equals bonds and bond funds. And bond funds is where the issue is when it comes to truly protecting your retirement money. Alex, what's your thoughts on that?
And I've gotten yelled at by some of my target date fund buddies out there for bashing their funds, but I feel that the way they invest money for people is just not correct. And when I don't feel it's the right thing for people, I'm going to say something, because people don't always know what's inside of these funds. And for me, Brian, if we're using bonds as a way to reduce our risk, which we kind of stated that already, and they have principal risk, I don't think we're doing a very good job.
Right, especially when that's the protected piece. Now, because it's understood that the stock piece has risk to the principal, but when you are trying to lower the risk as you get closer to retirement and buying bond funds, you have an issue. Now, bonds, fundamentally, if you ladder them out and you buy individual bonds and you know your dates of maturity, you know when you get your money back. So individual bonds in a certain size portfolio could make perfect sense. But when it comes to building bond portfolios, now bonds is debt instruments. There's many, many of them out there. Designing where you possibly go for higher yield so that you can manage those in an environment where maybe that can be higher than the fee. That's a little different piece when you go for high yield, but the more you add on the yield side, you add to the risk side of the corporate bonds. So there's a lot of factors, but generally, when we're talking about lowering our risk or protecting your retirement money, we believe that having a portion of that money, never do we say all of your money, but a portion of that money in something that's protected. Now, many things are protected out there, and a lot of people look at banks for protection, right, Alex?
Absolutely. They see FDIC insurance and they say that's a protection, which is very true. But the downside with banks right now, Brian, is, as we talked about earlier, low interest rates. So is CDs paying you 3%? Not anymore. I think 2.
No, you're not getting 2. 1.2 is the best I've seen, and I think they're heading even lower. Now, a CD, I have a nickname for them, and that is constantly depreciating. So even in higher interest rate environments, CDs on the 3 to 5 year range typically underperform inflation after tax. And so if you do not make money after inflation is calculated into your portfolio and after tax, you're not making real money to keep up. One of our greatest pieces of concern for those retiring right now is, will your money keep up with inflation as things rise over the next decade? Will your money keep up with what you need? You need money that's going to grow with the market. And that's why you must have a portion allocated to the stock market into and throughout your retirement years. But you also need to make sure your protected side has some ability to earn more interest, more return. Now, we're talking about annuities. So what happens is some of you already have annuities. And by owning those annuities, you might not understand what you bought or what you were sold. We at Akers Financial Group can translate these annuities and understand what you already have. Yes, we speak the word annuity. We can understand the contract you have, where your money is, and how to use it. Many times annuities are sold and then that agent goes away, doesn't come back. And it doesn't have reviews, doesn't follow up with you. To use them properly, you can just call for a free review at 833-946-7384. Hey, Alex, have you ever met with a client that comes in and they have annuities and they sort of hand them over and say, I don't even understand what this is? You ever had that happen?
I'd say more than 50% of the time, Brian, they come in with something, some type of old annuity they've had for years. And a lot of times, I'm super excited about it because they've already done the hardest thing that, annuities require, and that's you take time to invest in them, right? So you get these greater payouts and things over time if they're used correctly. And sometimes I see people and it's like, man, if I could sell more of this annuity right now, things would be great. And there's other scenarios where it's just not the right one for them. So it's really hit or miss.
Exactly right. So what we're saying here is this, is that you collect investments throughout your life. Sometimes we're sold certain things. Sometimes we hand choose and pick out what we want. And a lot of times it's dictated by the risk that we say we have at different times of the market. And so understanding how they work, how the tool of an annuity works in protecting retirement income is a very important piece. At Akers Financial Group, we want your retirement to have less stress. We want the biggest worry of your day to be where you're going to drink your morning cup of coffee. We want every day to seem like a Saturday. So what we recommend to you is this. Come in and talk with us. Sit down with one of our team of advisors and have a free initial consultation where we talk about you and your situation. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a in-person meeting or phone, virtual. We do all those kinds of meetings now. We're well diversified in our meetings. Just go ahead and start your retirement planning now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. So you want to spend your last dollar on your last day? How do you actually do this? We will tell you the secret in the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We are both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group. Today's show is called Protect Your Retirement Money. We plan out this show. We have 4 quarters, and each and every quarter we have planned a different topic relating to protecting your money. You want to hear each quarter that we have prepared. We help our clients protect their money. In some cases, an annuity is a great way for that to happen. In some cases, it's not. We're going to talk about annuities done the right way throughout the show. All right, Alex, I got this first question for you. So you want to spend your last dollar on your last day. How do you actually do this? What is that secret?
Well, you make a deal with the devil and you find out when you're going to die, which is a pretty tough thing to do, or you can buy an immediate annuity without any type of lifetime or guarantees. So it would be an immediate annuity that ends when you die.
All right, so they're called many different things, but an immediate annuity, some people call it a single premium immediate annuity, or they call it a SPIA. This is the annuity where you put your money in, and then the insurance company says, all right, we've calculated the payment, and this is your payment for life. Now, right now, that's a fundamental problem for a couple reasons. What are those reasons, Alex?
Well, so right now the biggest issue, Brian, as we talked earlier, is interest rates. So just because an annuity is not a bond, those current interest rates are used in the calculation when they figure out, okay, how much can we pay this person for the rest of their life? And you were locking a rate in, what could be an all-time low rate for, all time. You're locking it in forever.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're locking that rate in for your lifetime. This happens when you choose a single life option. Now, imagine at work you have a pension, or if you're in the military and you have a pension and you retire early, and you check single life. There's a fundamental problem to a single life box when you check that. Single life means your life. It also means your life only. If you retire, if you get your first check, what actually happens, Alex, if someone passes away right away?
It's pretty sad. If they check that single life only, that's it.
Yeah, single life. So what happens there is when someone passes away, the check stops. And that's one of the reasons people don't like immediate annuities. And that's one of those things about, well, what's the worst case scenario? Well, if someone draws a check for a couple months and then it stops. Now, in choosing immediate annuities, you got to understand what they do and what they don't do. Immediate annuities are when you have a bucket of money and you want to make it last a lifetime, and you really don't care if there's money left over for anyone else. Just like a pension, if you choose single life, you don't want that money to go to the kids. If you have a spouse, you don't want that money to go to the spouse. So it's a very permanent decision. We use immediate annuities very, very rarely. Is that correct, Alex?
I've been here for, 10 years almost, Brian, and I think we've done one, and it was for Medicare planning, I believe.
You've done a couple, but basically Medicare planning, or the idea would be if someone's trying to get into subsidized housing, you can also use an immediate annuity to bump up their income, and the asset no longer is an asset. Because in immediate annuity, you give the insurance all the money, and they promise you a payment. There is no more value there for you. It's just a promised cash flow.
Yeah, and these insurance companies, they hire people to figure out, on average, how long people are going to live, what their average rate of returns are. So, they're pretty good at figuring out how long people are going to live. If not, they wouldn't be in business.
Right, and then they make their profit off of it. The immediate annuity has its role of maybe raising income. I guess when I look at alternatives to immediate annuities, one of the ideas, if you're in your 80s, is possible a charitable gift annuity, where at least some money goes to charity if you die too soon, and you get a payout. Payouts on immediate annuities get higher and higher the older you get. So if you're trying to squeeze more money out of your dollar, immediate annuity might be the only way to truly squeeze that money. The other idea is this, is that annuity is a tool. Yes, it is an insurance product run by life insurance companies, but it's a tool that we can use. This tool comes in 4 different types of tools, truly, Alex, right? So we talked about immediate annuity, and Alex, I want you to explain the most hated type of annuity when people talk about annuities. Which one is that one?
Oh, that's going to be the variable, Brian. There's
why,
a lot.
Why is that?
So, a variable annuity is essentially the stock market's risk inside of an annuity policy. And what happens when you have a variable annuity, there's multiple layers of fees. And I believe that's kind of the biggest thing out there, is people are very fee conscious. So a variable annuity, not only will it have some market risk on your initial money or your cash value, those funds that it's in, these sub accounts, will have fees associated with them. And then the contract itself will have annual contract fees. They may have a mortality expense if there's a death benefit. So all in, these things are usually charging somewhere around 4-ish, I'd say, fee-wise, depending on what you got.
Yes, I would say 4%. Hopefully it's on the high side. There are some cheaper ones, but imagine that the variable annuities sometimes have 4 different components of fees. One is just a basic contract fee. They take money out every year. That could be a set dollar amount, like $30 or a certain number of basis points. They also have a guarantee for the death benefit, and that mortality charge is usually 1.2 or higher, because they actually guarantee the principal upon death, but they also give you the ability to put your money into the stock market. And so that means if you have a guarantee upon death and the investment goes straight down, they're still on the hook for the death benefit when it might be higher than the actual value. And they charge a fee for that. Now, many variable annuity companies got in trouble financially back in 08, 09 when the market truly did tank for about a year. It was going way down. It took 7 years to recover. So that variable annuity companies had to reprice and redo how they do variable annuities. And you've seen a lot of features change. So far we've had the 2 fees, contract fee, mortality charge. The third charge that's out there is when you have a sub-account in a variable annuity, you have investments that are basically from different managed companies. And these sub-accounts, they have management fees for the actual investment. And they range from 0.5 and higher. If you do more international, you could get in that 1.5% range there. And then you add all these, you pile all these fees up, and then you could always add other riders onto these, like income riders and other pieces. So whenever a variable annuity is presented to you and they have other features, understand it's like pizza. A pizza, when you say, well, I like a cheese pizza, and they go, hey, you want to try the sausage? You go, hey, yeah, I'd love to try the sausage. And before you know it, that's $1.50 or $2. Imagine a variable annuity, the same thing. When they put a dash of, you want some extra cheese on that? Boom, extra fee. You want a guaranteed income or guaranteed money out while you're alive? Extra fee. You want a long-term care rider? Boom, extra fee. You want anything they call as a benefit, typically is extra fee. If it's structured in the original document, you might be able to not see the fee. It's more in the pricing. So understanding these variable annuities, very, very important. Many times we don't believe variable annuity fits into the retirement part of the plan, because in a fundamental variable annuity, you want to lower the risk as you get ready to retire. And as you lower the risk, you lower return. And if they're hitting you for 3 to 4% fees internally, your return is truly lowered.
Yeah, and I call them very sticky in that once you get into these contracts with the level of fees on the money and the guarantees that they're providing, you would never want to take the money out if you're going to give up certain guarantees that you've paid for or that you have. So they're very difficult to ever exchange out of. So usually it takes an event where the market drives itself real high, and then that's a time where you can look and say, hey, can I go somewhere else with these funds that better suits me now? But you got to weigh what you're giving up, because I've seen some of these before. They changed them way back in the day that are phenomenally great contracts for the people. But it's a matter of, is it the right thing for them today?
Absolutely. So what you just said was this. If you have a variable annuity, or if you think you have a variable annuity, we want you to give us a call to review what you have. Possibly you don't understand all the aspects that it's providing. But when the market's up like this in a variable annuity, you might be at the perfect time to consider changing that variable annuity to something that has less risk, something that has less fees. These are things where you need to understand what you have, understand why it might be great to keep it. In many cases on variable annuities, we've done the exact same thing. Give us a call at 833-946-7384. We can review the actual policies you have and tell you how they work and how you can benefit from them. So we think that's a great thing for people to do right now with the market up, right, Alex?
Absolutely. And, if it's a scenario where you're not quite there or able to do anything different, I like to be as aggressive as possible inside of these things, because if I don't beat those guarantees they're showing, I can't move it. So you got nothing to lose.
Absolutely. So a variable annuity is the second type of annuity that we've talked about, and we got two more still to talk about. This idea of what to do with a variable annuity, another reason to consider making a change now is with low interest rates, they have sometimes something called an MVA, which allows you to have lower fees on exit. Just something else to think about. Now, at Akers Financial Group, we're local, we're independent, and we don't report to a big company on Wall Street or in Iowa. We report to you. We have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville, and this is about retirement. It's not about us, it's about your retirement. You can begin winning in retirement by giving us a call at Akers Financial Group. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to set up an in-person meeting or a virtual Zoom with one of our team of advisors. Start your planning for your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or go to AkersFinancialGroup.com. How would you feel driving over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge if there were no guardrails? Well, then why would you retire without protecting some or all of your assets? We'll talk about this in the second half.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Akers, president and founder of Akers Financial Group. And here with me today is Alex Monk. Alex Monk, are you ready for the second half?
This is my time to shine, Brian. Let's do this.
Yeah, do you remember any good second half stories from playing sports?
Oh, man. I can't identify one off the top of my head. I just remember, wheezing, having to run.
Well, I remember a lot more as a coach than I do as a player. It makes me wonder if the players actually remember anything I say as a coach. But what happens here on financial planning and winning in retirement is we take a coach's outlook to financial planning. We want to coach you to make sure that you win in retirement. So no matter what age you are, we're trying to coach you to see what's going to happen. Being prepared for the retirement years is the best thing you can do for yourself. No one else is going to be able to do that for you. So trying to coach you into those retirement years is great. We want you to win in retirement. So if you're already retired, hey, let's win and keep winning and improve in every way we possibly can. And that's why practice matters. All right, the show today is called Protect Your Retirement Money. And the question here for the beginning of the second half is this, Alex. How would you feel driving over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge if there were no guardrails?
Well, Brian, I'm not your world's best driver, so I think we all know that I would not be going over that bridge. Sometimes I don't do it in regular conditions.
So you wouldn't even drive over the bridge, right? Now, you wouldn't go down the middle and go slow and get over the bridge anyway?
I don't think I have the patience for that.
Now, normally when I talk about this in a seminar, what I say is, well, I wouldn't even go over the bridge. I'd go north and head up through Cecil County and into Delaware and come back down. But the problem would be is this. What if I had to go over that bridge? Would I go slow over the middle? Probably not. Imagine that this bridge is the bridge into retirement, and you don't have a guardrail on your money. Is that really the right way to enter retirement? I don't think so. I think retirement, we have to have some protections on some of our money. We got to make sure that we don't fall off the bridge by having no guardrails. A guardrail is having a fixed or guaranteed annuity that helps you with money that can't go down. So, Alex, when we talk about fixed annuities, those are the other versions of annuities. So far, we've talked about immediate, talked about variable, and in this segment, we're talking about fixed guaranteed annuities. Why are they guaranteed, and what makes the fixed the place to consider?
All right, so this second half, Brian, like you said, this is the important time to listen. So if you're out there, turn it up a little bit. You're going to want to pay attention, because these are the annuities that act as guardrails in our retirement. Because we know, I sit down with people all the time and I say, hey, you're going to be retired for 30 years. Will the stock market go down? And they all say yes. So that answer right there means we got to have something that's not going to go down with the stock market. And the best thing that we found for our clients in this environment is these fixed annuities. And they're not issued by banks. Now, your bank may sell you one. Don't get me wrong. You can buy these things almost anywhere, but they're not FDIC insured. They are backed by the assets of the insurance company. So it's very important that you check your track record of this insurance company, their credit rating. Are they A-rated? So there's S&P, Moody's, and Fitch. These are these credit rating agencies, and they all have ratings on every big insurer out there. So that's the key thing that you want to look for. If you're saying the money's safe because it's with this company, you need to make sure that they're A-rated. And then from there, that company provides certain guarantees depending on the contract. So like a fixed is essentially a CD, but from an insurance company, right? So they say, you give me your money for 3 years, 5 years, and we'll give you 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever it may be. And that's pretty cut and dry, right, Brian?
It can be.
But on the other side, they have new crediting options which can be linked to indexes, or indices, I believe was the proper plural there. And so you can have participation in the stock market without having the negative downsides of it. So the worst that you can do in one of these is zero. And that's where the old zero is hero comes into play.
Yeah, I guess the worst we've ever seen is if someone cashes one out early. There are some early withdrawal charges, and typically they can be very large. So this decision to use fixed annuity or fixed index annuities is a decision of tying your money in for a certain amount of time. And you need to understand what kind of time that is, and does it make sense in your portfolio and your withdrawal plan that you have. So that would be the only time you'd lose of your principals if you actually make yourself lose by withdrawing more than the allowable 10% each year. So it's just a little bit of caveat. But so a fixed index annuity started around 1995, where these insurance companies take the bond interest and investment returns they have, and they use some of that to buy stock options. These stock options, and then over the years they've changed and diversified in many other ways to track the indexes. And some insurance companies have created some indexes to follow. They've had some Nobel Prize winners research and come up with different concepts to try to deliver interest rates to clients on the fixed side. So there's a lot of choices out there, a lot of information. It's a complex product. It's not the easiest to understand, but we try to make sure people understand what they're doing when it comes to how to lower their risk, then how to ladder annuities. So when I say ladder, Alex, what do you think I'm trying to recommend to people?
Absolutely, Brian. So laddered annuities is a strategy where you, instead of putting all your money into one contract, you put it into multiple different ones spread out by length of term. So you could have a 5-year, a 7-year, a 10-year, or you can also do it by when you plan on triggering income. And when we say income, these fixed index annuities have different things that you can add to them, just like a variable annuity. But the most important one that we want to talk about is the income rider. And that's where you get these payments guaranteed for life. But if you die, your beneficiaries still get the remaining cash value. And it sounds like a have your cake and eat it too scenario, but there's usually a fee associated with it.
Absolutely. So it's just like that pizza again. If you throw a topping on, you're going to get a benefit, but you're going to pay for it. So you got to understand which ones do you need and which ones do you not need to see if it makes sense in your scenario. So right now we've covered different kinds of annuities. We covered immediate, covered variable, and we've been talking about fixed index. We just want to talk a little bit about a fixed annuity, which is basically a multi-year guaranteed annuity. Some might use the term MYGA. And what that means is if you wanted to have something like a CD where the insurance company guarantees you a rate for like 3 years or 5 years, there are MYGAs out there. Have you used those, Alex?
I have. Not so much anymore with interest rates being so low. It's not really an exciting thing, but you used to be able to get over 3% for 5 years, and that's not a bad number when the banks are paying you 1 or 2.
Absolutely. So typically the fixed annuities would pay higher than a bank account when it comes to a 3-year or a 5-year, but not a lot higher. It does pay some higher. The annuities, as the fundamental setup of annuity, if you have money that's not retirement, the annuity does make it into like a retirement vehicle in that it is tax deferred. And it also adds rules for those younger than 59 and a half, where if you use money out of your bank account and put it into an annuity, you really can't take it out without a penalty until you're 59 and a half. So your age matters when you think about MYGAs or fixed index annuities. They're not accounts where you do a 3-year and then pull it all out if you're under 59 and a half, but it is designed very well for the retirement years. And that's why the insurance companies have done this over the many decades when it comes to fixed annuities. Now, annuities have been around for hundreds of years. One of the best examples I read about was about Babe Ruth and how he had money in annuities instead of the bank during the 1930s, which was a pretty good ESPN article a few years ago. Thought that was pretty neat to read.
Oh, the Babe.
Yeah, Babe Ruth. Yeah, Babe Ruth, great kid from Baltimore. If you've ever heard of him. All right. So the annuities is something that you need to understand about how to protect your retirement money. We had started out our show talking about bond portfolios being a version of an answer of a way to protect, but is it really a way to absolutely protect your principal? And the answer is no, it's not. And what you need to do is consider how to add some of these fixed annuities into your overall portfolio. We have certain situations where we think it fits best, and we think it fits and grows and helps people with getting that income that we need. When you start going in retirement, you think about it, there's like this basic amount that you need to have every month, and it has to have certain flow. And we like taking money from the fixed side, and then we take money from the stock market side whenever the market's up. We sort of balance back and forth between protected and the money at risk on withdrawals. So this year, as you think about the investments, you look at your portfolio. If you're up, you take some winnings off the table, and you fill up your cash bucket. And we're trying to design retirement income. We do truly look at where the money is, how it's going to flow out, and make sure it's all set up for you to make it last a lifetime. We need this money to last as long as we do, and we need to make sure we meet all the goals that you have. And this is all about putting money into your personal retirement plan. Well, actually, the best part of retirement is getting your time back. And that's where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is all tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away at retirement. So what we want you to do is to be consumed by what you want to do. To begin winning in retirement, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Would you use a hammer to cut a board? We'll talk about the tools you need in the fourth quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today has been Alex Monk. We are certified financial planner practitioners at Akers Financial Group. Our topic today is called Protect Your Retirement Money. And so protecting your money is something that we've been talking about throughout the show and talking about vehicles and tools that we use to do this. Now, if you missed any part of this show, you can go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. Akers is A-K-E-R-S, financialgroup.com. And what you'll do is you click the radio tab and you can hear our past shows and listen to this anywhere you are, actually. So it's a really nice way to catch up on things you might have missed. We do have our past shows on there. And just below that, we have information about our webinar and the webinar series that we've done over the last year. You can watch certain videos we put together on certain topics as you try to learn about financial planning so that you can win in retirement. Today's show, we've worked through our concepts of protect your retirement money because we help our clients protect their money. In some cases, an annuity is great for that to happen. In other cases, it's not. And so as we're talking about annuities, we've been doing it and talking about doing it the right way. So, Alex, I got this final question for you, and that is this. Make sure you're ready for this one, Alex. Would you use a hammer to cut a board?
Well, Brian, I think you know the answer to that, and I most definitely have used a hammer to cut a board, but it was not the right tool for the situation. You definitely don't get a smooth cut line when you take a hammer to a piece of wood, even if it is paper thin. And, it's all about having the right tools. That makes the job so much easier, and I think that there's so many tools out there that people can get confused about what's the right tool for their financial plan.
Absolutely. So many annuities are sold to a person rather than a client coming and saying, oh, I want to have an annuity. They typically are sold to them. And sometimes they're sold in places where they shouldn't be sold. And so we have to look at those and figure out how to exit, also how to use these annuities. So one of the things we've been doing today is offering a free review for people who have annuities that they may not understand, where we can sit down, go over what you have, explain some of the best ways to use it. Basically, we can translate the annuities into words where you can understand how to use it for your financial life. You can give us a call at 833-946-7384 or go to our website and at akersfinancialgroup.com and sign up through there also. And just have a free review with one of our team advisors to review the annuity that you might have. We got to have the right tool for the job. Having the right tool for the job when it comes to protecting your income is understanding what you own already or what you need to think about owning when you build your retirement portfolio to give you that income you need. So when we talk about right tools, Alex, we have talked some about income riders. Can you explain what an income rider does if it's needed?
Absolutely. So an income rider is a feature that you can add onto the annuity, and it can be structured as joint life or single life, and that's just depending on who you're trying to cover for income, whether you're single or married. And this income rider, depending on how it's structured, can have a roll-up feature on it. And a lot of annuities are sold highlighting these roll-up features, and that's where they have a rate of return that they're going to promise to this income rider account value. Now, it's not your real money, it's not your cash, it's your income account. And the more time you put in, the higher this income account can go. Now, when you start drawing income, it's a function of a percentage of that income value account typically. And all of them can be a little bit different. And then that payment is promised for whatever period you selected, either your life, you and your spouse's life. And the nice part about these riders, Brian, is your cash value goes down when you take a withdrawal, but it's still there intact to participate in any earnings your contract might have. And if you are to pass away before you run out of money, your beneficiaries get it. And then in the opposite scenario, you spend all the money in the contract, the insurance company continues to make that payment. So it really is the best of both worlds.
It can add to this key factor, and that's will I run out of my money? It can actually add where this money will last as long as you do, as a benefit part of the annuity. Now, when it comes to building your portfolio, we like income riders that actually escalate the income based on the returns so that you can actually get higher income down the road. Because we believe in many cases our pensions and Social Security may not give us the income that's going to rise and keep up with inflation. Now, annuities are part of the way to build your overall portfolio. It's one of the ways to set up on protecting your retirement money, but you must have a well-diversified portfolio to be able to keep up with inflation throughout your retirement years. So that means people need to stay in the stock market throughout retirement, right, Alex?
Absolutely. And the nice part about having a protected side of your portfolio is when stocks go down and you still need money, because last time I checked, most of my retirees, regardless of what the market's doing, they still need their monthly check. It gives us a place to get that money that is not impacted negatively like the rest of the market. And one of the biggest issues in retirement planning is when things are down and you still need money, if you don't have a good balance or a place to get it from, you're in trouble. You're locking in losses. You're selling at the bottom. All those things that you do not want to do in order to be successful in retirement. And our protected side, using annuities, cash, things like that, it gives us that balance to not have to make really bad decisions when something we know that's going to happen in the future happens.
Because we all want to win in retirement. And when you think about winning in retirement, it looks like this. You know your income's coming in, and you know that that's not going to change. You know that your companies did not offer any more, your company doesn't offer any more pensions, so you have to create your own income flow throughout your life. You have to create your own ability to take some cash and live off of it. Building this income plan and building the portfolio to make it last a lifetime is a very, very important piece of retirement planning. We've had so many meetings recently with people who want to retire, and we're trying to start with the basics of can you retire? And then it comes down to how to retire and how to make this money keep flowing and growing. We have to have a diversified portfolio. Some of you might be nervous about the market. Some of you might think the market's just getting started to go. Now, that doesn't change our overall allocation that we think people should have. We think you should have a well-diversified and balanced portfolio. And a laddered fixed index annuities can be a good part of that. But you have to understand what you have, what you own, what to buy. And that's what we do, is help people understand what to do.
And Brian, everyone's feelings and answer for their portfolio is different. Because imagine if you have a giant guaranteed pension that you can never outspend. Well, then you might be able to take more risk. But then on the flip side, if you don't have any type of guaranteed money coming in besides, let's call it Social Security, you might need to be a little bit heavier on the stuff that's principal protected, that has income guarantees. And really, it's about you. It's what is the best answer, the right answer for your scenario. And that's what we're the best at doing, Brian. We find out where people are, and we find out where they want to go, and we help them get there.
At Akers Financial Group, we start with a financial fingerprint. That's exactly where you are, and then we build from there. Now, some people have pensions, some don't. And because the fact that people don't, that means we got to be very careful at designing income to meet your basic needs in retirement. We believe that many people, when they're getting ready to retire, should be out of debt so that their amount of money they need is a lot lower. So then they can make that money last a lot longer because we're not going to be eating into the principal. There's many research out there, many things about how much to withdraw, what interest rate, take 2% out, 3% out, 4% out, how to design all of that. We believe there are certain ways to figure out what's best for the client. We think you have to manage your money each and every year throughout the ups and downs and be careful with the withdrawals and manage them. Especially during your 60s, you got to manage it where you try not to use your principal. And then in your 70s and 80s, that's when you might want to use a little bit of your principal. But you got to balance your goals, your income, all together. All very important piece as we build a solid financial plan for you to be winning in retirement. Any final words on protecting your retirement money, Alex?
It's never too late to start making sure you have the right asset allocation. And when the market's up, it's even better time to do it. So don't hesitate. Just make sure you know where you're at today.
Yeah, we see many people that don't understand what they have and they're not quite sure. Are they ready to retire? Are things good for them and their spouse? And we invite you to give us a call to talk about this. So today's show has been Protect Your Retirement Money. And we've been talking about how we use annuities in many cases, but not in all cases. Not all cases because it depends on where people are and if they have enough guaranteed income already or a guaranteed piece already. You don't need to add more to the protected side. You can let your money grow over time. We want you to enjoy your retirement years. We want you to be able to live in retirement and feel that you know where the money's coming from, that you're okay. So what we recommend is this. Wherever you are when you think about your retirement planning, you need a coach. You need someone to sit down and talk with you about where you are, to understand what you already have. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE to sit down and go over this. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom, and of course, in-person meetings with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.